Hello everyone, welcome to another drawing and talking video. You guys voted and you wanted me to draw Zabella, so I will be doing that today. She seems to be a fan favorite amongst you guys, and it's probably because she's hella cute. And she's probably my most girly and femme character. This video, I get to just draw her in some outfits that I want her to wear. And it's a thing that I've been wanting to do for a while now. And I've finally been able to sit down and just do it. So if you're new here, this is my OC Isabella. Her name is pronounced very similar to Isabella, but it's spelled Zabella. So it's a form of Isabella. It's based off of that. I think I actually got like Zabella from Twitter suggestions because I'm really bad with names. So I always, every time I make a new OC, why'd I say new weird? Anyway, every time I make a new OC, I would go on Twitter or Instagram and I'd ask like, what name do you think matches them? And then people would comment and someone said Isabella. And I was like, that's pretty perfect. And it really matches the vibe that I was going on with her. But then later down the line, I was informed on Instagram comments that Zabella actually like means trash in a certain language. And I don't remember what language it was. I feel like maybe it was Arabic, but when I tried fact checking it, like it didn't really match. Like when I tried fact checking it as I'm recording this. So now I just like have no idea. And I kind of just have to like live with that, maybe Zabella's name means trash somewhere in the world, but that's okay because she's not trash. She's not trash at all. So concerning this piece, I didn't really know the composition of the page going into this. I just knew that I wanted to draw her a few times, wearing different outfits. And I wasn't really planning for it to be a glam sheet or something like that. At the time that I'm recording this section, I actually haven't finished this entire piece. So I still don't know what this is gonna look like in the final version. So when sketching, my plan was to just kind of be really laid back with it, going into it very unplanned. And I just like went on Pinterest and looked at poses and, I wasn't warmed up. I didn't really warm up even though I should have. So this first section is going to be like you're kind of going to see me be not as confident in what I'm doing, and it's kind of gonna be me trying to figure out what I want to do first, kind of like what style I want to draw things. And since the focus is definitely going to be the outfits, I wanted to choose like fun and interesting poses, full bodies, since I'm not really going to show off her face, but of course I still want her face to be cute. So I was like, let's just go for whatever seems like something Zabella would do. So I've talked about this a ton. I feel like I have. Maybe you guys don't feel like I have, but concerning Zabella's personality, I feel like it's kind of been the only thing I've talked about. But if you don't remember, she's meant to be the character that's kind of like the nicest out of all of my OCs. She's supposed to be the most wholesome, the most gentle, I guess. I kind of have a knack for making really grumpy OCs like Jules and Juno. And so Zabella is unique amongst my OCs in the way that she's not grumpy. She's like probably the least grumpy of them all, aside from maybe Sydney. Her and Sydney are the bubbliest of my OCs. Although Sydney is meant to be more like hyper than her. She's kind of more, I don't know, subtle, I guess, in the way that she acts. I base her off of the cottagecore aesthetic, and obviously, when you think of cottagecore aesthetic, you don't really think of like a grumpy person. So Isabella's definitely not that. She's, oh god, I feel like I'm just like tripping over my words right now, but she's just gentle. She's nice, she's kind, and she tries her best to be as kind as she can be. In the story that I made her for, it's like about them being aliens, and there's meant to be like actions and fighting in it, and she's like the type of person that tries to avoid fighting as much as she can because she doesn't like to hurt people. While on the other hand, someone like Jules is like, yeah, let's fight, I don't want to talk. So Isabella is that, and she is actually like the fastest character. She's supposed to be agile. So if she was a D&D character, if I were to give her D&D stats, she would be dexterous. Her highest stat would be dexterity. And I don't know what class she would be yet, but maybe like a ranger. I don't know yet, but I do like want to one day convert my OCs into something with Strixhaven with D&D, because I've always been interested in Strixhaven, but I've never actually gone in and like made a character for it. So one day it would be really cool to do that and maybe be able to like share it with you guys. Yeah, I feel like whenever I talk about my OCs, I've only talked about their personalities and appearance, but I've never really told you guys about their story. So I'm gonna attempt that in today's commentary or voiceover or whatever. So, like I mentioned before, I wrote Zabella, or not wrote, I made Zabella for a story concerning all my OCs. I actually made them all for this story. And I was gonna call it Alienation because they're all aliens pretending to be humans, and they're in college, and it's kind of like a slice of life thing. And I know that alienation doesn't sound like the best title, but it was supposed to be like a play on the word, like, oh, they're getting alienated, but also it's like their nation of aliens, kind of like a secret society of aliens on Earth. Because I was like really inspired by Men in Black, and I was reading Percy Jackson, and I was also watching Vampire Diaries and like Legacies and X-Men and all that stuff. And I just like, I've always been fascinated with stories that concern people being some sort of magic or fantasy type of people, but they hide it and they try to blend into human society, but that aspect of their life kind of just keeps coming out of nowhere and like disrupting whatever normal life they're trying to live. And I feel like this stems from me watching Dragon Ball Z when I was like 10 years old, because, they're Saiyans and or Saiyajins. Like, for the most part, they are just trying to like chill and live on Earth, and maybe do some martial arts every now and then. But then aliens keep coming out of nowhere and trying to destroy the planet. So they're like having to fight them off, and they can't exactly like parade themselves around as the heroes of Earth because most people don't know who they are. Most people don't know that they're not human, at least Goku and Vegeta. So I've like always been fascinated by that. And my some people might not like this, but my favorite saga in Dragon Ball Z is Gohan going to high school and like just trying to be like a normal high schooler, but then he can't because like he's super strong, and people are like weirded out by it, and he's like trying to act normal, but it's like he just can't. And I've always like attached myself to that, and I was like, I really want to make a story where it's just that, it's just like slice of life, that where my characters are actually have super strength, they have super speed, they can heal, and stuff, and they're just trying to like go to school or have a career, but these things get in the way, and it's like an extra job that they have to do where they have to hide these abilities from people, and sometimes people find out. And you know, it's like, what are they going to do about it? And so I feel like I just went on a tangent, but I got really excited to talk about it. So Isabella is one of those characters. She's actually an alien from another planet, and I've always been a Vampire Diaries girly, and so I've always liked vampires and like the fact that they have to hide themselves, but I didn't want to make a story about vampires because that's so like overdone. And so when I was trying to think of what to do for this story, I thought of Men in Black and how it was so interesting how the aliens are just like living normal lives and they're just blending in and no one even knows that they're aliens. And, they're just like at the post office or in restaurants and it's just like a thing. And there's people who know about it and are helping them hide this fact. They're not necessarily harming anyone, but they're there and they're aliens. And so I just went with aliens because I feel like vampires was like too intense. And the whole like drinking blood thing has always grossed me out. And I don't want my characters to always have to be like driven to hurting people. And I do want there to be action and violence in my story, but not in that way, I always have gotten grossed out by like seeing them like suck the blood of people in Vampire Diaries. So yeah, no. So Zabella is an alien instead. And the story is actually supposed to be about them finding out that Sydney is a half human, half alien. And in the lore of the world, this is supposed to be something that is not possible or like it's never happened before. And it's supposed to like start this whole, story arc about them finding out how she's a half alien, half human, how that's going to affect everything, and her finding out about the world of aliens. And so Sydney was originally supposed to be the main character, but I don't want her to be the sole main character. I want everyone to like equally be main characters. And Isabella is actually supposed to be the kind of like the first friend that she makes in college, because Sydney moves to a new city to go to college, and yeah, she befriends Isabella, and Isabella is like, "Hey, you want to come hang out at my house?" And their house is actually like this flat or dorm dedicated solely to students who are actually secretly aliens. And so Sydney goes over there to hang out with Zabella, and then she finds out that she's actually half alien. So Zabella is supposed to be that character who helps Sydney find out about this world, and she's kind of the character that like kind of helps her adjust to it too, because she's the best suited for it. And I just like love how Zabella is meant to be the character that's kind of like the most compatible with personality types because she just gets along with people, she's not like antagonistic or hostile towards anyone. That's like never a first impression with her. And she's the type of person that tries not to judge people right off the bat, and she tries to like give them the benefit of the doubt, even in situations where she kind of doesn't feel a vibe with them, and she tries to understand them and stuff. So, in this world, the aliens also have a different appearance than humans, of course. Zabella has actually an alien form. These aliens, they have very colorful skin tones. It's not just like a range of, pale beige to brown and dark brown. It's not just that, it's also like green, blue, pink, red, whatever, right? And I haven't, like, found the combination that I want for Isabella yet. It's, like, pretty hard considering the range of skin tones that I've made for myself with these aliens. And I also, like, intended for their hairs to be as equally colorful. And so I've just, like, dug myself into a hole with Isabella because I've tried out multiple designs of her alien form, but I just, like, I cannot, like, be satisfied with any of them yet. So and I actually haven't finalized any of my character's alien forms yet, and it makes me sad to think about it because I'm like, I've had them for years now, and I just, like, really neglected that. It's just too fun to draw them as humans, you know? And the reason why they have a human form and an alien form is because the aliens who are living on Earth have concocted, like, some sort of potion from a plant that they've gotten from their planet that allows them to look human. And they also have very like superhuman abilities. They're much stronger than humans. They're much faster than humans and they have better health than humans. And some of them have like super enhanced ability, like Jules has super enhanced strength. And this potion that they take to not become human, but to look human also helps them suppress those like enhanced abilities so that they're not as strong as their natural form. So, you know, they're not just out here like uncontrollably like breaking things. Like they're still stronger than the average human, but it helps them blend in better in terms of physical ability too. So it's not, you know, they're not just like super duper strong or fast. In terms of these like superhuman abilities, they're born with it like randomly, and others also at some point after puberty, they like discover that they have enhanced like ability of something. And that also is random and it sometimes runs in the family. And so Zabella actually has enhanced speed and healing. So she's one of the faster characters. She's very like agile and dexterous, and she can also heal very quickly. But this type of healing isn't like what they do in Vampire Diaries. It's not like instant. You know, if she gets cut, she's not going to get like instantly healed like Wolverine or something. It's just that she would heal it quicker, if that makes sense. God, I feel like none of this makes sense. So, for example, if she gets a scratch, that would probably heal in minutes instead of a few days. If she breaks her arm, that would probably heal in a couple of weeks instead of a few months. It's like that. Like things are sped up like proportionally and you know percentage wise it's not just like oh whatever happens to me will heal in 3 seconds. It's not like that. And so she's not like invincible or anything. She can definitely still die and get hurt very badly, and you know those injuries will still cause consequences to her health. And in terms of like plot lines and stuff, I don't know yet what I want to do with her because the other characters, it's like I know like romantically at least like their partners and stuff, but with Zabella, I just haven't really thought of something. Like I haven't been drawn to a certain storyline or plot line with her yet. I'm kind of like stumped about it. And yeah, I'm kind of sad too because when I think of like romance for her too, it's difficult for me to imagine her in a romantic relationship, at least like compared to Sydney and Jules. Like Sydney is supposed to be with Jasper, and Jules is supposed to be with her girlfriend. With Zabella, I'm like, I don't know, and I can't even imagine it. And so a part of me has kind of wanted her to be maybe asexual if she's not into, you know, like the physical intimacy of relationships. Or I don't know what it's called, but like what is it called when people aren't able to form like emotional romantic attachments too? I guess that's like arrow aromantic. Is that it? I know people can be arrow ace, and that's when, at least from my understanding, when you're not able to form physical and emotional attachments in a relationship. And I don't know if that's what I want for her. I feel like I'm like either or, like I want her to either form emotional relationships, like falling in love and stuff, but not be into the physical stuff, or she's unable to form emotional attachments, but she's able to do the physical stuff. Either way, I'm kind of vibing with just making her single, because I think like not everyone needs to be in a relationship, and I feel like Zabella, out of all my characters, would be the type of person that would just like be happy by herself, like she doesn't need to be in a relationship to feel fulfilled in life, and I love that for her. So, that's kind of like my foundation so far, at least like in what I want for her story-wise, relationship-wise. But other than that, I have no idea where I'm going with her, and also no idea where I'm going with this like thing that I'm talking about. I guess since this is a video where I'm drawing outfits for her, I'll talk about her sense of style and fashion. So, her fashion and style, it's very like, I think she might be the most fashionable one of my little crew of alien OCs. I don't know how to describe her style. I did say before that I based her off of like cottagecore, so she likes to wear a lot of pastel colors, a lot of dresses and skirts, and just very like soft girl type of fashion. Another way to describe it would be like she would absolutely be eating it up on Pinterest. Like she would eat the Pinterest girlies up, which makes a lot of sense because I get a lot of her outfit inspirations from Pinterest. Unfortunately for me, this means that I have to work extra hard when designing or like searching for outfits for her, which is like really hard for me because I'm not exactly as fashionable as Isabella. I'm like not fashionable at all. My wardrobe consists of just like shades of black and gray and other muted colors and just like graphic tees. So, I'm not the most qualified person to be designing Isabella, but hey, I'm trying my best. Isabella is also, I think, the one who I've drawn the most outfits for, like variation wise, because I just have way more ideas for her than my other OCs like Sydney or Jules. Like every time I go on Pinterest or some other website that I look at photos for inspiration, it's always like, oh, that would look really good on Zabella. Or, like, ooh, I could change this about this outfit and then it would be perfect for her instead of like Sydney or Jules. And so that has resulted in me having the most full body illustrations of her. And now in this video, I'm adding 3 more. Like I said before, I didn't really go into this with a plan on exactly what I was gonna draw. So a lot of like the lining portion of this video was just me brainstorming and messing around with what she could be wearing. One thing that I did know for sure though was the outfit that she would be wearing in the one where she's like kind of posing with her booty out. And I wanted it to be this one outfit that I've drawn her in during a stream, because I kind of changed one of her original outfits into being that one, and it's kind of my go-to now when drawing her. And so I wanted to do another full body one of her wearing that, and if these turn out pretty nicely, I will probably turn all of these into stickers. So with the other one where she's standing and she might be holding a bag, that one I was kind of feeling like a fairy vibe when I was lining it, and I was thinking of just like going for it. In terms of color, I was kind of feeling maybe orange and brown with it. A more like earthy tone, like she would probably be like an earth fairy. Oh, now that I'm talking about it, ooh, maybe I'll go with something that has the vibe of what were those fairies in Tinkerbell? It's the black fairy. She was like a light, like a sunlight one, or was she like, was it light? I don't remember, but she wore a yellow dress. I don't think yellow is totally Zabella's color because her skin is like more reddish. I think orange might be a better color for her, so I'm probably gonna go with orange there. We'll see. For the one where she's crouching, I think I'm gonna go with a more simple approach. Maybe a watermelon vibe, like pink and green for some reason. I'm leaning towards green with that one. Once again, I haven't finished yet when I'm recording this, so I don't know. We will see what my future me does. Hello, Lauren from the future here with a spoiler alert. I know we're not exactly there at that part of the video yet. I mentioned the fairy outfit, the one where she's standing that I talked about earlier. And well, guess what? I'm gonna save that for another video, at least the finished piece, because you'll see me color it later on, like with the flats, but I got a little frustrated with the colors because the other two were kind of in line with each other, like, like purple, pink, green. But then I made this one orange, like orange theme, because she feels like more of an earthy sunlight fairy, but it just like it didn't vibe with the other two, so I'm like, oh, it doesn't really match. And I also got kind of frustrated with the color combination that I was working with. So I am not gonna finish the third drawing in this video. I think I'm gonna do a dedicated video to like turning my OCs into fairies or like pixies or something like that, and we'll see how that goes. So for now, you're just gonna get like a little, I guess, like only the footage of me sketching it and aligning it and then coloring it a little bit, but I will not be rendering it. So sorry about that, guys. So you might ask, what are her hobbies? What does she do in her spare time? And I feel like her hobbies consist of a lot of things, like reading, binging TV shows, doing her own nails, and she probably has like a bunch of small plants that she takes care of. And this one is kind of like a self-insert because I like to do this, but one of her hobbies is definitely putting together those like miniature kits of like diagrams. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but I've got some from Hobby Lobby before and they're really fun. They're really fun to work on. And so she likes to do that. And she kind of has like a collection of those diagrams or miniature things that she likes to put together. And since she has like so many hobbies, she kind of has like a seasonal rotation with which ones she engages in like every few months or now and then. And it's just like she has like a lot. And I feel like because she has a lot of hobbies, it also means that she's always constantly doing something. So when it comes to food, she doesn't really cook. Like, she prefers to order food or wait until, like, someone else in the house cooks. Like, maybe Jules will cook and Zabella will be like, "Can you cook me some too?" Or someone else will cook, you know? And that's just, like, the way she operates, you know? Like, she kind of focuses on these things and prefers to do them rather than interrupting her little fun activity that she has going on for herself and like cook, because cooking takes a long time, and for for a lot of people it's enjoyable, and then for some people it's not. And so for Isabella, I feel like she doesn't enjoy it that much. Maybe like I don't know if you guys have seen those videos where people are cooking small food. Like they have like a miniature knife and cutting board and pot, and they're like cooking like a small steak or something. I feel like that's probably like the form of cooking that Isabella would enjoy because it's miniature and cute. I don't know. As always, with these chunkier videos, I need your guys' help to come up with topics to talk about, and I'm gonna be here for a while. So I consulted Instagram and YouTube community tab on any questions people might have about my OC specifically or things that might be related to this video. So I'm gonna talk about some of those. And I apologize that I'm not gonna be very organized with these things. I'm just gonna like pick and choose. I will go back in and timestamp these so that if you're just browsing through or you have a topic that you specifically want to listen to, I'll section it out so you can go to skip each one or whatever. All right, so the first topic is a really good one. A really good question that someone had in YouTube was how should they go about approaching drawing people of color or, you know, like drawing other ethnic groups and stuff like that. I think a video about Zabella is like the perfect time to talk about this because Zabella is my first Black OC, and she might be my only one at the moment, unless I make Esmeralda Black also, as well as Mexican, but we'll see. And I know that a lot of people are really scared to step into this type of journey. Trust me, guys, it is not that scary. It doesn't have to be scary, and it's not that difficult. You just have to put some effort into it, and you have to care about what you're doing and why you're doing it. So as with anything in our learning to draw anything, you just need to practice. You just need to do it, and the more you practice, the more you learn. The more mistakes you make, the more you learn. And you need to accept that you're probably going to make a lot of mistakes along the way, but that's okay. When you make those mistakes, you also need to be open to people pointing them out and telling you what you can do better. And for the most part, the people who point it out, they want you to get better and they're just trying to help. Okay. So don't take these things to heart when you draw a person of color and you like, I don't know, like forget to color their palms differently. And a person points it out and they're like, hey, people who have darker skin, they actually have different colored palms than their skin tone. So maybe next time you can do that, you could fix it on this piece of art. Like they're not trying to hurt your feelings. They're trying to help, okay? So keep that in mind. You have a couple steps to choose from when starting this journey. You can number one, jump right into it, or number two, do some research first. I will emphasize right now that you are definitely going to have to do both of these steps at one point. Both of these steps are pretty important, but you can do it in whatever order you want, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so first option is to jump right into it and just start drawing. It's a very simple way to start, and you just have to, take what you already know and try to draw something, applying that knowledge. It's a good way to set like where you are in your knowledge and where you currently stand in how you can draw people of color and how you can improve. It gives you something to also look back on. It gives you a starting point for when you eventually do improve, and you can look back on that and see what mistakes you might have made and see how far you've come. So that's your first option, is to just go in and draw. Just do it. If you don't think you're ready to do that yet, your second option is to do some research first. Yeah, like I said, this is for people who want to be a bit more prepared before their first time drawing a person of color, or maybe you're really worried about messing it up, so you really want to be prepared. And so do some research first. And I know that research sounds like a really daunting task, but it doesn't have to be. Anything can be research. Observation is research. To help you out, I'm going to actually break down research into simple parts. So, part one of researching is honestly just observing how other artists draw people of color. So, for example, I'm going to use black characters as an example because I'm drawing a black character. If you're wanting to learn how to draw black people, find your favorite black artists and look at how they draw their own group of people. Look at how they draw themselves, if they do draw themselves. Bookmark their art and learn from it. And like truly examine it, like don't just take it at face value. Like you look at the details, look at the differences between how they draw black characters versus how they draw other characters. Like find what makes their black characters unique to themselves. Identify those things and see how you can apply it to your own art. There's so much you can learn from other artists simply by just looking deeper into their art and looking at the nuances and details. So some of the artists that I learned from when learning how to draw black people are Rose Flier. Sorry if I say these names wrong. So Rose Flier, Tururi is my favorite one. Bumblebee, Sammy, and Likelihood Art. A lot of you probably know Likelihood Art already. Likelihood Art has some great tutorials. I followed her tutorial on how to draw two-tone lips for black people, and it really helped. So yeah, check out those artists, check out other black artists or artists of color who draw whatever ethnicity you're trying to learn, and really examine what they do. They'll probably have tutorials for you. You just have to find them, and there are honestly plenty of tutorials to just see on Google or Pinterest. Just be sure to identify the original artists for them so you can go to their page and see more of their art and learn from it. Now, that is part one of research, and it's literally just looking at other artists' work. And then we have part two. So part two of research is to gather real life references of the group of people you are trying to draw, that ethnicity or race that you want to learn how to draw. You can go on Pinterest or Google and get some photos of real people, and you can observe that. Remember, observation is key. Try to make sure that that model or person that you're referencing is actually of the ethnicity that you're looking for. Try not to generalize too, get a broad spectrum of how those people look. Different genders, different hairstyles, different facial features. Examine how their features are and how their proportions are. If you're focusing on the face, how do their facial proportions how do their facial proportions differ from other ethnicities, and how are their facial proportions similar to other people within that group? Look at their hair texture. What is their hair texture? What kind of hairstyles do they have? How do their eyes, nose, and lips differ from other people? And you can draw over those references. You can trace them. You can take notes. just do whatever it is you need to do to learn from those real life photos of people. So those are kind of like the two main ways that I recommend starting. If you want to learn how to draw people of color, you can start by just literally drawing, like just jumping into it. But if you do that, make sure you do research afterwards, and then try again. Now, if you started with research, make sure that you actually draw, or else that research isn't getting applied. When it comes to research, guys, it doesn't have to be hard. Observation is research. This isn't like college research where you have to go out and read articles. I mean, you can if you want to, but I feel like observation is enough. And you can observe art, you can do artwork, or you could observe real life, real photos. And yeah, just do whatever works for yourself. If you're wanting another step of research or another method of research, what you can do is literally just consult the people of that group that you are drawing. Are you trying to draw Black people? Ask Black people for tips. Are you trying to draw someone in a wheelchair? Ask people who use wheelchairs. Are you trying to draw an Indian person? Ask Indian people for tips. Ask them to critique your art. If you're unsure about something, just ask. Majority of the time, it's just something that they live with. It's their daily lives. It's something that they see in the mirror every day. So in one of my classes, my animation class, I was trying to design a Punjabi character. And she was kind of set in like a Bridgerton type thing. So I was trying to combine historical like Regency clothing with a Punjabi style to it. And she was Indian Punjabi. And so like some of the stuff that I was reading in articles when researching, it was kind of confusing me because there are I believe Pakistani Punjabi and then there's Indian Punjabi. And I was confused and I needed clarification. So I went to Twitter and I just asked my followers to clarify some of these things. And they were more than happy to help. And they were clarifying a lot of things. And they even gave me some keywords to research for like clothing. And they gave me ideas on what to include when drawing this character and when designing her. And it was so helpful. It gave me so much more to look into and to make sure that like what I was drawing was much more accurate and correct. And I'm pretty sure I still made plenty of mistakes when designing this character, but when I finally released it and like I posted it, I was so happy to see some of the people who had helped me like comment and be happy at what they were seeing. And so yeah, like one step of research is to literally just consult real people who are, of that group that you're drawing. I feel like as long as people can tell that you're genuinely trying to learn, then they will be willing to help you. So yeah, guys, it doesn't have to be scary. Just like go ahead and try, you know? And if you are going to, then I wish you good luck. Okay, so someone on Instagram asked if I was still doing my alien webtoon. And if you didn't know, that alienation story that I was talking about earlier was actually supposed to be a webtoon. Like my ambitious plan with it was to write this story and then draw it into a webtoon and probably post it on the webtoon website. But since then I I don't really want to do that anymore. Like doing a webtoon sounds really scary. It's a lot of work because you not only have to be the artist, you also have to be the author for it, and you have to be a writer for it. And it's so much work, and I'm not willing to do that. I don't think I have the power to do that. I can barely even draw backgrounds at the moment, so how the heck am I gonna do that? And so I guess the answer is no. Like, I'm probably not gonna do an alien webtoon, but I'm definitely not scrapping this story. I think I'm definitely gonna still share it with you guys in my videos, but it just like I'm not sure like what format yet because I also haven't completely written it out. But since I started doing solo D&D and using dice to help me kind of like randomize the story a little bit, I've thought about using that method of writing to help me with the alien story. And if my solo D&D video works out where I kind of animate some of it, I storyboard some of it and show you the story in that way while I tell it, then I can definitely do that with the alien story too. I guess like my test run is with the solo D&D stuff. Since I am talking about the solo D&D stuff right now, here's an update on my solo D&D video. Since someone also asked about that, if I was still doing that, I'm definitely still doing that. I am working on it at the moment. It's just going really slow because it's a lot of work. It's kind of like the webtoon. It's a lot of work, and I'm being like really stubbornly ambitious with it and trying to include details into it that I probably shouldn't be spending so much time on, but hey, I'm an impulsive person and I'm impulsively adding details, and so I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully the video doesn't take like too long to finish. I know it's been like a couple months already and it's starting to seem like grim, but trust me guys, I'm working on it. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen some of like the work in progress of it. It's just really tough, but I hope it turns out well. And it's probably going to be a really long video too. So that's a gift to you listeners out there who like my long form videos. Unfortunately, though, because I'm going to be working on that, I plan to kind of take a break after this video to just like really truly focus on that one. Because work on the D&D video has also like slowed down because I've been working on this video and I've been working on other videos because I don't want like the YouTube channel to just be inactive while I work on it. But I think it would probably be best if I just focused on it. I think I work best when I focus on one thing at a time instead of like a lot of things. I don't know, like it's just like more satisfying to my brain to finish one thing, set it aside, move on to another thing, finish that, set it aside, instead of constantly working on like three things at a time and then finishing them all at the same time. It's just like a little too much for me. Okay, so someone also asked, I forgot if it was on Instagram or YouTube, but someone asked, what media has inspired my work? Already mentioned this before, but definitely Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z has influenced me so much. Not so much in my art style, but definitely in my taste for media. I recently rewatched it and then I realized just how much of like the tropes that are in Dragon Ball Z, I just love those tropes and I like to consume them in other like stories and media too. So like for example, Vegeta. I love Vegeta. I've always been drawn to him, and because of him, I've always been drawn to like anti-hero type characters. And because of that, one of my goals in, like creating characters is to have an OC kind of like Vegeta, who is like anti-hero, kind of gray area in terms of like morality. Yeah, I'm still working on that. And also, I love Android 18. I've always thought she was cool. It's like really cool to see like a girl fight, in this thing and like be one of the stronger people's characters in it. Android 18 was kind of the blueprint for Jules in terms of appearance. They're both blonde and they're both kind of grumpy, blonde women who fight and are grumpy. So that is also kind of like an inspiration for Jules. And like I mentioned before, my favorite arc in Dragon Ball Z was Gohan's high school arc, where he's trying to hide the fact that he's Saiyaman, and he's like, meeting Videl, and he's just kind of like being a little goofy, being a little cringy. And I know like some people don't like it. Some people like say, "Oh, skip the Saiyaman arc. Gohan is too cringe." And I loved it. I loved it because I love the double life thing. It's giving superhero, and I don't know. There's just something that tickles my brain about seeing Gohan like try to fit in high school. I love the part especially where he like causes an earthquake by like shaking his foot because he's just that strong, and like and it's like no one knows that he's that strong. And then the tournament arc, I loved like seeing like Sharpener like try to figure out who Saiyaman is, and then eventually they finally find out that it's Gohan, and they're like, "Whoa, Gohan's so strong." And that's the part that gets me too. I always have loved in shows where the normal like human characters or whatever are kind of like fascinated and like weirded out by the main character just like being kind of like abnormally strong, or like they're being kind of like suspicious or whatever. And then the moment that they finally find out, god, what am I saying? Wait, what am I saying? Wait, okay. And the moment that those characters find out that the main characters are actually like magical, or like they're vampires, or they're Saiyans, or whatever, that moment, I love seeing it. It's like one of my favorite moments to see in a show is when the discovery moment, and it all starts to make sense. And they like flash back to all like the moments that they saw this person be weird and now it makes sense to them. I love that moment. It's one of my favorite things. It charges my like brain battery. So I wanted to make a story with alienation where these characters are aliens or whatever, and they go to a school with normal people, with humans, and then eventually they make friends, and those friends find out that they're aliens, and they're like, "What? You're an alien? Like, what do you mean?" I don't know, guys. I feel like I just word vomited all of this. Like, I started talking about Dragon Ball Z and then aliens and whatever. I am gonna have like the time of my life listening back to this while editing, because I'm gonna be like, "What the hell am I talking about?" Well, anyway, I hope that answered your question on what media has inspired my work. So this next one is not really about Zabella or my OCs. It's just kind of about me. And they asked, what are you currently watching or reading at the moment? This is from Instagram. And I wanted to talk about this one because I would like to talk about my other YouTube channel. If you didn't know, I have another YouTube channel called Looroon, Looroon. I just like talk about stuff there. It's honestly kind of like my channel right now, except it's not art focused. I just go over there and talk mainly about like books or TV shows, and my face is in the videos. And my last video on there was a 3-hour long recap of the first two books in Heroes of Olympus, and I haven't posted there in like 2.5 years or something like that, because let's just say that 3-hour video, like, it sucked the soul out of me. It was like a grueling like 3 weeks of work. And when I posted it, it got like maybe 500 views. And then the Percy Jackson TV show came out last year, and now it has like over 100K views. I've been thinking of going back. I've been thinking of continuing that like recap series. And so for a while I went back to reading Mark of Athena, because that was where I left off. But because of my art channel, it was a little difficult to like focus on both channels at the same time. And so I stopped reading Mark of Athena to focus on these things. But because I'm thinking of taking a break after this video, I kind of want to make some more videos on that. I don't know, like I'm a very impulsive, like do what I feel like doing type of person, and that's kind of what I feel like doing a little bit. I borrowed one of those Jane Austen books from my sister that is just like a collection of all her books. And the only Jane Austen book that I've like actually read from start to finish is Pride and Prejudice, which I have not read since freshman year of high school. So I was thinking of doing that because I mean, if you didn't already know, I feel like I've talked about it a million times. I like historical romance a lot. My journey with that started with Bridgerton because I watched Bridgerton and then I read the books and then I just dived into the historical romance genre. But the historical romance genre is like, I mean, essentially erotica. So a lot of the times it's like it's kind of difficult to get into some books when you can tell that it's literally like written only for the steamy scenes. And so I was like, maybe I can get back in touch with the classics, like Jane Austen, and see if I can understand those stories better now that I know more about the Regency period. Because I swear I don't know how I digested any of Pride and Prejudice when I read it as a high school freshman because I had no idea what they were saying. I had no idea like the social structure of the period. I was just like, Mr. Darcy sounds hot. I like it. And so I wonder like what I'll think when I read it now. So I'm thinking of doing that and maybe making a video about it. But a lot of people are kind of counting on my Mark of Athena video. So I don't know. I don't know. And also I'm watching Bridgerton right now. I'm recording this on the 12th of June, and the second half of season 3 comes out tomorrow, and I'm gonna watch it and freak out and stuff, and I'm very excited for that. But yeah, that is what I'm watching right now, and I'm not currently reading anything, but I'm thinking of reading Jane Austen stories again. A lot of you guys kind of asked for like art school stuff, but maybe you missed it or something. I actually dropped out of college. So I don't have any new art school stories or anything like that. And I dropped out because I just didn't really feel like the time spent there was worth it for me any further because in order to reach graduation, I had a lot of like prerequisite classes still. Like, there was a lot of roadblocks in the way for me to reach the higher or the upper division classes that I actually wanted to do and that I actually needed in order to improve at art. Like, for example, I wanted to take figure drawing, I wanted to take visual development and anatomy. I also wanted to take anatomy. I couldn't take those classes yet because I still had to take like, I don't know, drawing 2 or another history class. And I just like, I got really sick of it. And I was just like, I really don't want to spend another semester grueling over like history homework and essays and drawing a bunch of boxes in perspective again just to reach like a viz dev class or just to reach a figure drawing when I can just like drop out and just do that, online, like without having to get over the roadblock of prerequisite classes. And I also felt like I sat down and really thought about it. I thought to myself, I don't think I really want the degree because, realistically thinking about it and knowing myself, I don't actually want a job in the industry. I don't want someone else to be my boss. I've been self employed since I was 15, and I would like it to stay that way. Like, as much as the thought of having a financially stable job sounds really nice, I just don't think I'm cut out for that stuff, you know? Like, I've been my own boss for almost 10 years now, and I don't know, like, I really don't want someone else to be telling me what to do. I'd rather tell myself what to do. So, that is my art school update. I'm sorry if it's not what you were wanting because I am a dropout now and we're just going to see where life goes because I can always go back. I'm just kind of going with the flow right now and trying to draw my silly little OCs, and I'm going to kind of use that to segue into the next topic, which someone on YouTube asked, what are my motivators or inspirations? Because they have lately been in like a crazy art block and they're saying that they just can't seem to get inspired and motivated. Well, Mochi Boop, I don't know if this is the answer you're looking for. I don't know if this will help you, but my current motivator is to literally, like, I literally just want art content for my OCs. And I am motivating myself by being like, oh, I want a page of Zabella. And I know that I am the person that can best do that. And so I do it. And also because like I'm broke, so I can't really commission someone else to do it. So I'm like, okay, I have to do it. If I want new art of Isabella, I'm going to have to do it. If I want some art of my D&D characters, I'm going to have to do it. And that's kind of been my motivator lately, is to just like build up this like art empire of my OCs and characters, because I know that I can't really afford to commission other people to do that for me. I've also like concerning D&D, I don't know if you guys have seen the source books where like you're flipping through a D&D book and there's like art on the side of the page or like on the corner of the page, and it just like looks like really cool, you know, like, oh, the character is getting ready to fight and they're drawing their sword, and I want like cool art of my OCs like that, you know, like getting ready to fight or they are fighting and stuff like that. So that is what I want at the moment. So that is my driving force, is just wanting art of my OCs. So so those are kind of the topics that I wanted to talk about from your guys' suggestions. I don't really know what else to talk about right now except maybe the future of my channel and kind of like how I'm feeling about content creation at the moment, because I have mixed feelings about it. You might have seen it if you keep up with my community tab, but a while ago I made a post about the future of my channel and my plans with it. To sum it up, I was feeling a little tired of Draw With Me's, and I was feeling a little like down about what I was doing on this channel because I kind of like fell into pattern of simply trying to make content that I thought you guys wanted instead of doing what I wanted to do, which was a really like unhealthy thing for me. It it made me not enjoy doing this, but I've since then adjusted. In that post I essentially said, hey guys, I'm going to change things up a bit and I'm going to try to focus on some D&D stuff about my OCs, rather than trying to keep up with like trends and trying to do what I think will get the most views. Because I mean, a lot of you that are listening are probably content creators yourself. You're probably on social media, managing an art account, posting art and stuff. And maybe you have a YouTube channel too. And you would probably know best how difficult it is like mentally to be a content creator it's really important to do what you want and to sustain enjoyment in what you were doing as a content creator. And the enjoyment was kind of dying down for me. I would also get like really demotivated whenever I would post a video that I thought was going to get a lot of views, but then it didn't. And I would get like demotivated because of that, because I'm like, oh, I thought this was gonna like do well, but then it didn't. At the moment, I'm really trying to go back to the beginning mindset that I had when doing this YouTube channel, and also the mindset that I had when it first started to get subscribers was to simply impulsively do whatever I wanted. If it gets views, it gets views. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. I'm slowly but surely like getting there again. You know, I could feel it. Like this video was kind of something that I just wanted to do randomly. And so I did it. I mean, I hope you guys enjoy it because I've enjoyed making it, you know, just talking to myself and kind of having fun word vomiting out here. I mean, it's why I made my channel. And so for the future of this channel, I just want to keep going in that direction and just doing what I want. And the current thing that I want to do is making videos about my D&D story, because I have always wanted to share stories. I wrote fanfics like years ago, and I feel like the reason why I enjoyed writing fanfics was because of the community that it had. You know, like you would write a fanfic, and even if it was trash, you would post it, and then so many people would comment and they shared the same interests with you. You know, like even though your writing was absolute garbage, they were loving it, you know, and they would comment about what they loved. And it was just like such a great feeling to be in that community and to share a story that you wrote and you put effort in, and then people consume that and enjoy that. Ever since I stopped writing fanfics, I've been looking for that same sense of community again. And I create characters in my art. I make OCs, and those OCs have stories. And I've always wanted to share those stories, but it's kind of hard to like do that in a written format, because no one is going to see art of your OC and then be like, I would like to read a Google Doc of lore. At least most people. There might be some people who want to do that, but you know, most people want to see it in the form of art because that's the way that they found this character. And so I like to talk, and I thought these videos would be great to just vomit words about my OC stories. And the D&D one is also a great way because most D&D people who watch D&D, people who play D&D, we kind of like understand that D&D is all about talking. And so it's not like outlandish to listen to an hour of a D&D video or someone talking about their D&D story. And so that is what I'm going to jump into, and I'm really hoping that it works out. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. It is like a lot of work and it's kind of difficult, but I'm stepping out of my comfort zone in maybe drawing some combat or drawing, you know, like storytelling illustrations, and I'm just sketching it. I can't color things for this video or else it'll take me like a whole year to finish, but it has been going great so far and I can't wait for you guys to see it. And I really hope you enjoy it because a lot of people seem to like my D&D videos, and if this works out, it'll open doors for me to do this with my OC stories and also my other D&D campaigns because I have multiple. And so that is, yeah, that is kind of how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really hopeful. I'm just like really excited for it. And I don't want to lose my voice. So that is it, guys. This is how the piece looks. And I'm going to play the speed paint. Don't worry, I'm not going to forget that. And to you guys who are still listening, thank you so much for being here and listening to me talk for what the hell I was talking about for this entire hour. And I hope that you enjoyed whatever I was talking about. And I hope that you'll be here next time too. So that's all. Goodbye.